So our partner is Merkle, who considers commerce, experience, and data not as an individual area, but as business solutions. And having said that, today we can welcome Carlos Francisco, Head of CX and Commerce Consulting. Hi, Carlos.
Hi, guys.
Hi, guys. Thank you. So I wait for the timer and then we go.
Yes.
Yeah, we are setting up the timer, and for the audience, if you have any questions to our partners, please write them to the Q&A. We have to reset the timer. So the timer is ready. The stage is yours.
Okay, so thanks everyone and welcome, and thanks for the opportunity. With me today is also Atish, who leads our large-scale commerce projects from a technology perspective. Today we'll just go through, we have not much time, so I'll try and be quick. I'll start with something that we wanted to everybody to understand, who is Merkle Dach and who are we? And we consider ourselves something of what you could call a dream builders. We like to architect dreams based on data, technology, and experience, as well as being able to build those and implement those. Now, I understand when people see a slide like this and they see the word dream builders, it can be perceived as exceptionally fluffy, which sometimes it is, but the truth of the fact is, how do we actually tackle the types of problems that we see in the RFP, and how do we start building what we believe our consumers need when they want to launch something like a luxury product in e-commerce in a very short space of time? And we believe that the first thing to look at or understand is really the business impact and what we want to achieve from a business perspective together as a partnership. So obviously the first thing that we looked at, and you cannot deny it, is the revenue. How much money do we want to make from what we want to do? Because this fundamentally drives what we need to build. And as you can see, if you haven't read the RFP, some of the expectations are quite high. So we really start with the B2B and the B2C 2021 targets, specifically B2C, because this is the first financial target that we have. And what we do is we actually look at that and start developing what we call a reverse funnel. And by doing this, we understand if we want to achieve at the bottom the 25 million euro sales, what do we need to deliver from a consumer experience at every single interaction point? And how do we need to perform against benchmark KPIs to get to actually where we want to be on a sales perspective? And I'm not going to go through too much of the numbers, but as you can see, we work up on understanding how our web commerce solution needs to act from a consumer perspective, what our engagement needs to be, what bounce rates should be, how many visits need to come into our site to get to the end result of our conversion and our average order value that will give us the 25 million, and then identify media, consumer, and influencer strategies to understand, okay, how do we reach the intended audience? As you can see, 155 million people is a lot of people. If we're launching in the UK, we're about 90 million people short of reaching where we want to be. But this gives us a key indicator to understand that not only are the business targets really aggressive, but to have a chance of reaching these business targets, we have to really be top class across the board. And the way to do that is really by building a total customer experience. We can't just put a product out in commerce. We can't just put it online and expect that we'll sell 25 million worth of revenue. We really need to build a complete and end-to-end total consumer experience that eventually gets into a personal experience area. To do that, we need a number of things. We need activation, we need content, orchestration, insights, and data. Without all of these pillars, we are unable to build something robust enough to actually meet the consumer needs and deliver against our business goal. Now, obviously that's quite nice and strategic, but I want to give today a different view on how we can think about these things and how do we build a total consumer total experience. Really think of this new web commerce experience that you're trying to build like a dream house. Everybody wants to visit. Now, I don't know about you, but this is my dream house. I wish one day I'm able to afford it. Probably not. Maybe if I win the lottery, I could. But fundamentally, you need to think about your commerce experience from a B2B and a B2C perspective as your dream house. As you can see, this is a house that everyone wants to live or visit. When they arrive at the house, it's the same as they arrive at your website. They want to go inside. It's very transparent. It's open plan. You can walk through it. It's really engaging. And we need to create the same experience when it comes to your B2B and B2C. We want people to come and visit you and stay there. Now, obviously, once we have a house, we have a neighborhood. Your house is in a neighborhood. We need to keep the connections close. How do we bring people to those houses? This is how we activate different touch points and areas. So things like CRM, social media, and media need to be brought on board board and integrate it into your solution to make sure that we are connected to our neighborhood. Now, once we have a neighborhood, we have a house, we have a neighborhood, we have neighbors, we're all in a good place. We need to build the highways that reach out to beyond our neighborhood. We're connected to the world today. So this house needs to be connected. So the question is, how do we build these highways that lead to your home, and what are the cause and mechanisms to bring people? And this is really about data and connected ecosystem. And you inevitably delivering personal messages, because without that data and connected ecosystem and the single source of truth for the consumer, we are unable to deliver these personal messages. And you can think of the personal messages as their own individual Tesla car that's picking up them in an Uber, dropping them off at your house, and there's a butler inside waiting and taking them through the experience. Now, obviously, I know we all know there's this 8-week pressure. All of that cannot be built in 8 weeks. Theoretically, you probably have something like this. Of course, we'll put something nice on the front, and you can have a shop up, as others mentioned, between 6 to 8 weeks. The only thing that need to be very careful is when we're trying to build something this robust and scalable, we need to be careful that we don't go too fast and take too many shortcuts. If we do, there's also a potential reality that we land up with something really pretty on the outside, but when we scale and industrialize, it really starts showing the cracks, and then we hit really walls. So it's all about the balance between speed and ensuring that our products are available in a short space of time with the robust technology that we have available to us, but also making sure that our foundation is really solid and strong, that we can move forward and scale. So if we had that, obviously no one will visit you, but we do understand that you cannot stop business. You can't wait to build a dream house, a neighborhood, and then roads and highways. So we really adopt the approach that you need to build in stages. And our stages are simple. We make it work, we make it better, and then we make it bigger. From a make it work perspective, really the key here is to put your products online as quickly as possible in channels that are accessible and are high in value of consideration for users. So using marketplaces to leverage availability. And also latching that onto a front-end experience that builds and educates and helps your consumer understand your product offering and benefits. And this is really nice because if we build a front-end experience up front and we leverage the power of marketplaces, we can use your influencer strategy and your other, let's say, acquisition strategies to drive to your experience. And we also have the power of selling within a very, very short space of time. Also, we attach data to this to learn and understand, how your consumers are interacting. The second phase, and we do that in parallel to the foundation, is really build a robust, scalable foundation, linking D2C and B2B in one go. And that gives us the ability to get some learnings out of the consumer from the front-end experience and marketplaces while developing a robust engine. Once the engine is ready, we attach it to the front-end experience, and then we also evolve that experience based on the learnings that we've received in our foundation layer. Then we've got our house, we need to expand to the neighborhood. We integrate our CRM, our support systems, and any other area that needs to be integrated, as well as setting up a data management platform. Yeah, we need to start collecting data from all our consumers' interactions. Because we have all of these touch points, we need a single source of truth. And then, the really building the highways is where we have all of the foundational elements, the platform where we can set up the data and really learn and understand, and we gain efficiency and manage personalization and micro interactions because of this. And that also gives us the platform to develop really a strong KPI framework to move to CLV marketing in the future. Now, what does that mean? What does that look like? As I mentioned, you need activation, content, orchestration, insights, and data. And obviously with Adobe, we have a really, really strong tech stack to answer all of these needs. The first step is, as I mentioned, setting up in marketplaces, building an experience on AEM, and tagging on along the analytics. Second phase is latching on the commerce and bringing really sales internally towards us. The third step is orchestration and starting to use things like Adobe Campaign, integrating CRM, as well as setting up a CDP to understand, what are these interactions and start building a robust data foundation. And then the third part is activating things like Target and using the orchestration power of AEP to really start building end-to-end personalized experiences. And at this point, we really will have a fully connected system. Now, how do we deal with architecture? Especially, the nice thing is when you're using a number of Adobe products, there's already built-in connectors. we really look at it from a layer perspective. We put all of the experience platforms in the experience layer. We have a service layer and we have a platform layer, which is the data foundation. And then irrespective of whether it's an ERP, PIM, CRM, we are able to integrate at any level, dependent on the needs and the architecture of the business. So depending on how you want to scale and what your current architectural setup, there is the ability to put and plug these pieces into any of the solutions. I know I'm running out of time, but one last thing is, how do we look at scaling? We use a mothership approach. So we really build the first platform, as I mentioned, the foundation. That's the initial setup. We latch on the engine, which is the commerce piece. And then we start continuous improvement while doing a duplication and configuration job. So it's really about, that's where we gain speed. When we spend time building a solid foundation, we can replicate, duplicate, and configure very quickly. That gives us speed in the end, and then it's simple, and let's start building. Thank you very much.
Yay, you made it.
Wow.
Somehow I made it.
Speech. Thanks, Merkle, making us understand that commerce is in every interaction and that you create solutions that exploit opportunities to deliver business value. So really interesting once again to hear from you. Thanks a lot.